So a subscriber asked me to build a sub box after he saw the video of the sub in the Daihatsu. Well, I think I hope you're a subscriber. You should probably subscribe. Or if not, the price is going up. Anyway, here's your box. Cut to the time lapse of building it. And then afterwards, I'll show you how it's installed. Okay, so I mean, this doesn't really apply to anybody else on how to install it, but if you want the dimensions, I will post them at the end and you can make your own box, and then this is how you're going to have to install it. But mostly this is for Kev. So I didn't go into too much detail when I did the first video, but I had to cut a little bit of the dash here to make the box fit. And I mean, it wasn't that, I don't remember exactly how it went, but it doesn't look like I had to cut that much because this is the factory edge. But I had to cut here, and I had to cut the air box right here below this bracket. There used to be another bracket down here, but that's where the box is going to bolt in now, and it fits snugly underneath here, and your heater core lines up against here, and it kind of supports the air box, so I'm not, you know, it can't go anywhere when the box is in place. Yeah, anywho, you gotta take this cover off of your heater core lines. Makes it easier to get it out. Also, I disconnected the dash. Oh, you can't even see it. The brackets on the inside of the dash in there, I just unscrewed them so there's some slack, and the two bolts up top. So that way you can pull your dash up out of the way. You'll see why. All right. Tight fit is an understatement. Pick up the dash a little bit, get the binding posts are on top, so you have to just pick that up a little bit to clear those mostly. I don't know where a good angle is for you guys to see this, but bear with me. Alright, so the back is basically touching the heater core lines back there. Can't really see it. And once the front clears the whatever you want to call it, it's like the transmission tunnel if there was a transmission. Once it clears that little lump, it kind of just swings into place after that. and the little nub that I put on the front is going to fall into that grommet that used to be a wire harness pass through, but I rerouted the wires underneath the truck instead, and that's going to kind of hold it in place, and the dash also kind of holds it in place. And then there's 2 bolts inside. There's a lot of holes because I missed the first time, but there's 2 bolts inside that go where the old bracket was that held up the I think the heater core. They're I think 10 millimeter M6 bolts. They go straight through the bottom, so you have to do this before you put the sub in. All right, and the speaker binding posts are right in there, easily accessible once you have the radio out, which is just a couple screws, and the dash pops out. There's 2 screws on the top of the above the cluster. Everything else just pops straight out. Don't forget your 4-wheel drive button. Disconnect that. Now we can drop the sub in and be almost back to having bass. Voila. Now I went with Sundown because I've used them before. That's the giant subwoofer that's in my van right now. I've had that for a while, and by a while I mean like, I don't even know, it's got to be at least 6 years, if not more. Still going strong. But also they're 6.5, which is what this is. It only requires 0.35 cubic feet of air volume in the box, which is just about as much as you can squeeze into the space. And also the box is tuned with the port recommendations from Sundown to be at 40 Hertz with the correct ports, square inch, whatever you want to call it, area. Puts in work for a little 6.5. One more cool feature with the sub box. I hope you guys can see this. I had to turn the lights off in the shop, but with where I put the phone charger tray, I have a digital HUD that has a like mirror image setting on it, and when you set it to this when you're driving, I hope you can see that. I have the reflection of the HUD right here in my windshield. It's pretty sick. So I kind of have like a holographic heads-up display right there. Completely intentional. I designed it to do that, I had that vision in mind and I executed it perfectly.